Hello, how's it going, Alyssa?
Hi, I'm so good. How are you?
Yeah, really good, thanks. I just want to say first up, thank you so much for taking the time to join my show. It's such an incredible pleasure having you on today. To people that don't know who you are, Alyssa, if you can give like a bit of backstory about yourself, and then we'll dive right into the questions.
Yeah, absolutely. I just want to say thank you for having me and thank you for being so patient. My schedule is insane
You're
with
fine.
work, and so I have been so excited for this. My name's Alyssa, and I grew up in Texas. I was there my whole life. I started writing songs when I was about 13, started playing guitar when I was about 15, and kind of just grew up wanting to write and just be creative and make connections with people. So currently I'm doing seasonal jobs. So right now I live in Arkansas and I work at a marina. And then in the winter I'll work in Colorado, hopefully, and just do like my music on the side while also doing seasonal work.
Awesome. So we'll dive right into the questions now, Alyssa. So for my very first question, so you've actually created incredible original songs, and for the first original song I'm going to name is Self Love. Like, what was it like getting to create Self Love, and like, what's the whole meaning behind this song?
That song was a really important one for me. I was a senior in high school when I wrote that song. It's 2019. I was 17 years old. And you know how it is, like when you're falling in love for the first time in high school, like you're always going to get hurt in some way. And like my first love really did a number on me. And so when I got into another relationship with somebody who, like, kind of showed me that I didn't need anybody to love myself and to be myself. Like I loved that. And I wrote that song, I think the day of like Valentine's Day. And I thought it was perfect for all of the single people who didn't really feel worthy, just to give them like a reminder, like, hey, things will get better. And, like all you need is some self love. You really only need yourself. So it was really nice to get all of those emotions out and to just share that with others online so they felt less alone.
So let's go to our next question. So for the next original song I'm going to mention is Too Late. Like, what was it like getting to create this one, and what's the meaning behind this one?
This one was all about a summer love and not getting there quick enough, not wanting to be with them quick enough, not telling them your emotions, and then moving on and finding someone else. This song was really important to me. It was actually the first song I ever recorded to release on Spotify, Apple Music, all the things. And that one was just, it was the first song that I wrote that was true, but it also had some like storytelling in it too. So like a lot of it was true and it did happen, but it came from different situations. So a lot of those feelings came from multiple different people in one summer, but it was pretty much just about feeling horrible because you just want to do anything to be with this one person, but you can't because they've moved on.
So that's our very next question. So for the next original song I'm going to mention is Tried to Forget. Like, what was this one like to create, and like, what's the whole meaning behind this one?
That one is just sad. And one thing about my music is if you listen to it in order, it kind of tells a story. And if you pay attention to the lyrics and just the time that the song was written and where I was in my life, that one really hit me hard. It was right after that summer where I just fell in love with someone who was in love with someone else. And I had to go back to school and start my senior year that fall. And I, it took everything in me to just get through the day because I couldn't stop thinking about this person. Um, so that one was really just me like letting out all of the sad emotions and me just wanting to get it all out.
So on to our very next question. So for the next original song I'm going to name is Before I Leave, another great song of yours. Like, what was it like getting to create this one, and what's the meaning behind this one?
I'm sorry, could you repeat what song you said? I think it cut out.
Yeah, Before I Leave.
Before I Leave. I love that one because it's one of the first happy songs I ever wrote. And I was a senior, and at the time, like, I was planning on going to Los Angeles to go to a music school after graduation. And at the time, like, I was falling head over heels for this guy who was a little bit older, and he had his own place, and he loved to listen to me sing, and I just wanted to spend all my time with him. And it didn't matter that I was going to leave in a few months. Like, I just wanted to be with him and give him all the time that I had left.
Awesome. So on to our very next question. So you have also created a song called "I Miss You," another great song of yours. Like all your songs are so heartfelt. Like I really love your songs, and everyone whoever hasn't listened to Alyssa's songs, definitely go check them out. Because they're really amazing songs, and they definitely are like really heartfelt. And I really love your emotions that you put into your songs. So I just want to say that. No, you're very welcome. Yeah, but overall, like, what was it like getting to create "Miss You"? Like, and yeah, what's the whole meaning behind this one?
That one is pretty much just saying, like, I don't have any reason to have any feelings for you whatsoever. And I try my best to, like, pretend like I don't. But at the end of the day, like, I miss everything that we used to do together. I miss all the little things. I miss just, like, waking up and knowing that, like, you were in my life. Um, that one was also not long after that summer where I fell in love and was just so heartbroken. And around that time, like, all of those songs were pretty much about one person. And it just, it's one of those things where you look back and you're just like, I can't believe I felt that much for one person, because, like, now I wake up and I don't even think about this person. But looking back and listening to the songs and, like, kind of reliving what I went through, it's like, it's crazy. I was going through a lot.
So I'll say our very next question. So you also have created a song called "I Can't," so "Can't Blame You," which is such a great song too. What was it like getting to create "Can't Blame You," and like, what's the meaning behind this one?
Can't Blame You was hard for me to write because it was me admitting, like, I know that you said at the very beginning that this wasn't going to go anywhere and that I would end up getting hurt. You told me to, like, leave you. You told me to listen to you, and I didn't. And the only reason why I'm hurt is because I didn't listen to you. I thought, you know, like, I could change you. I could make you fall in love with me. I could make you a better man. Like, I could make you into the boyfriend that I want you to be. But just to find out that, like, you can't change people, and people aren't, you can't make them love you. You can't make them want you. And Can't Blame You was just me being like, I still am so in love with you, even though you told you were going to break my heart.
Awesome. So I'll say our very next question. So like, what made you decide as a person, and especially as an artist, like to get into the whole singing process in the first place?
Well, my parents told me that when I was a kid, like, I just sang all the time, and I really loved it. And they said just one day as I got older, they just realized that I had, like, a good voice. And I'd always been so creative with writing, hands-on learning in school. Um, and I don't even remember exactly when it started. I don't remember the first day I ever wrote a song. I just remember kind of growing up in church and, like, listening to the music and singing with the old ladies and them teaching me how to sing and how to do harmonies. And, you know, I grew up listening to Taylor Swift and Phoebe Bridgers and a long list of people who have really given me an outline for how to write songs and for how to express myself thoroughly through music and through my writing process. Um, so I think it really just was, it's one of those things where I think I was just kind of meant to write and meant to create things.
So it's like, so onto that, like, what does like performing music like mean to you, like especially as an artist?
My favorite thing about making music is connecting with the people who listen to the music. Like, the best compliment that I will ever receive is the people who message me and say, I listened to your song and it broke my heart. And it's like you put into words exactly how I was feeling. Like, I could listen to your lyrics over and over and over again all day because I don't feel alone anymore. I feel like somebody gets me. I feel like I can relate to somebody. And that's really my favorite thing about it, because not only does it give me an outlet to get out of all of my emotions, but it gives me a way to connect with others and give them a way to process their emotions as well.
So I'll tell you your next question. So like what like all-time cover song like would you like to perform and why? Like any cover songs that you have interest in?
One of my favorite songs to sing lately is Strawberry Wine.
That's
That one's so good. Also, anything by Phoebe Bridgers. Sidelines has been on my repeat lately too as well. Um, I mean, there's really a long list. I love singing, but Phoebe for sure. I cover a lot of her songs.
I love that. So on to our next question. So if you could like work with any top three music artists in the music industry, like who would they be and why?
Definitely have to start it strong with Taylor Swift, Phoebe Bridgers, and maybe like Fleetwood Mac or maybe like Joni Mitchell. I mean, these are women who have quite literally raised me and taught me everything that I know about making music and growing up trying to just create things. And honestly, if I could just sit down with all of them and just listen to what they had to say, I mean, I think I would learn a lot. And they just seem like great people I'd love to get to know.
Awesome. So I'll tell you your next question. So if you could like take your music anywhere, any country in the world, like where would you want to take your music to?
That is a good question. I, of course, would love to travel like on tour and go, you know, definitely out of the US. I haven't ever traveled out of the US before. I've
Okay.
always really been interested in touring Europe.
Well, yeah, I have to say, like my mum actually loves Europe, and Europe is a fantastic place. If you like, because I love how you mentioned Europe. So,
It
yeah,
is.
that's really awesome. So, on to the very next question. So, like, what like advice would you give up and coming artists like yourself?
I would just remind them to like remember their self-worth and remember how much their work is worth, and to not let anyone try and like take away from their success, you know. And I think a lot of people don't realize that just because some songwriters and musicians and whatever, just because they're not like number one on the charts and they're not making a bunch of money and they're not going on tour, that doesn't mean that they're not musicians. It doesn't mean that they're not talented and that they won't be successful. And it really, like, you start at the very bottom. And if I've learned anything so far, it's that you have to work hard for what you want, and you're not going to be given anything. And it's really easy, I think, to feel overwhelmed and just decide there's too many people who want to do this job. I'm not good enough. Nobody else thinks I'm good enough. I don't even know where to start. I think it's so easy to have that mindset. And if I could just encourage everyone who needs to hear it to just keep making music for yourself and keep doing things to make yourself happy, and then everything else will fall into place.
Awesome. So on to the very next question. So like if like you're younger, like if you're like now Alyssa could like speak to younger Alyssa, like looking back over time, looking back at your music, what like would you say to your younger self looking back?
Um, it's so funny because I feel like my writing style has drastically changed throughout the years, and not in a good or a bad way, just it happens, you change as you get older. Um, I think if I could talk to my younger self, I would just tell her to keep writing those super cheesy, heartfelt lyrics and post it online for your ex-boyfriends and their moms to see. Like, you know, like do what you have to do. Keep doing that, because it took me going through all of those things and writing all of those songs and posting it online for everybody to see for me to get to the point where I am now.
Awesome. So on to the very next question. So like what are the positive and negatives into the whole creating your own music in the music industry, and how do you get through those like negative moments as an artist?
I think some negative things are definitely like, as a songwriter, when I hear a song from somebody like on TikTok or something, and it's like the best song I've ever heard, but it's like something that I kind of had wanted to write about, but now I feel like I can't write about it in a different way because I've already heard this song. And I just fall in love with the song, but now it's like hands off. Like I can't, you know. And so a lot of that comes like with jealousy and with having to remind yourself like, hey, everybody is wanting to write songs right now and everybody's taking inspiration from everybody. Like you, just because you didn't write this song doesn't mean that you're not talented, you know. Just because you didn't write this song about this thing doesn't mean that later on you couldn't write about the same topic in a different way. So I think those are some of the negatives, is like trying really hard to not compare yourself to other songwriters and musicians and how far along they are in their music journey and stuff. I think that's probably a big negative, but positives would just be being able to write my own music, you know, like being able to pull out my song journal and just write stuff down and put a song together and call it mine. Like I made this and people are listening to it and they care about what I have to say. Like that is a really big one for me, is I just love people listening to what I have to say and relating to it.
So that's a really last question. So like what's next for you, like music wise, like anything that you like to announce on the show?
Well, I am working on a few new songs, and I'm currently looking for a good producer to work with. I'd really like to put together an EP. I think I've got plenty of songs put together for an album. So I'm really just focusing on my writing, putting a few more songs together, and then I'd love to get an album put together and then start talking about doing some shows.
So, well, I would love to ask, like, would you like to perform one of your songs on the show, by the way?
Absolutely, I would love to.
Awesome.
Let me grab my guitar. I will say I went to Hot Springs
Okay.
a few days ago, and my capo broke. So right now I'm using a pin.
Okay.
And you know. But this song I wrote in Dallas, and it's called Love in Dallas, and it's one of my favorites. The songwriting and just the whole story of the whole thing. I met Daniel down in Dallas in a bar. I barely knew his name, and we were kissing in his car. He asked where I came from, I didn't know what to say. Squeezed his hand 3 times and said, I'm a girl from out of state. We ran to his bed from the garage, taking up 2 spots just to kiss me in the dark. I came inside, took off my shoes, let down my hair, stole a shirt from you, jumped in bed like it was my own. When I'm with you, I feel like home. I was driving down the road in Arkansas, saw a strange familiar face. You couldn't have stopped me to say hey. You got me slamming on my brakes, popped the tire and you replaced. You'd be worth the 2 months I'm on hold with the insurance place. We ran to his bed from the garage, taking up 2 spots just to kiss me in the dark. I came inside, took off my shoes, let down my hair, stole a shirt from you, jumped in bed like it was my own. When I'm with you, I feel like home. Are you real? Are you mine? Is this love in real time? baby, 'cause these hands don't feel like mine. We ran to his bed from the garage, taking up 2 spots just to kiss me in the dark. I came inside, took off my shoes, let down my hair, stole a shirt from you, jumped in bed like it was my own. When I'm with you, I feel like home. You were sitting there with your shoes untied. I knelt down 'cause I didn't think twice. I leave crumbs in your bed, you only half care. You like things clean, it's a mess when I'm there. You like my smell and my long blonde hair. You like the way I match everything that I wear. You asked me again where I came from. I smiled and said I followed the sun to his bed from the garage, taking up 2 spots just to kiss me in the dark. I came inside, took off my shoes, let down my hair, stole a shirt from you, jumped in bed like it was my own. When I'm with you, I feel like home.
Yes, Alyssa. Wow. Oh my gosh. So much goosebumps right now. I just want to say thank you so much, Alyssa, for like appearing on my show. It has been such an incredible pleasure having you on. Do you have like any last final thoughts or anything that you'd like to share to people on the show?
I just wanted to say thank you so much for inviting me and for taking the time to talk with me and to just listen to my story and like what I had to say. I'm so thankful to have so many connections with people through the internet, and I'm really excited to keep in touch with you and see how things go. But thank you so much for having me. I had a really good
No,
time.
you're very welcome. Well,